I don't think there's any question. Texas has the running backs, has a talented stable of them. They just needed a running backs coach. So Mack Brown hired one of the best, and he joins us now, Larry Porter. And Larry, you know, you were at Arizona State. You've been a running backs coach all over the country. Why Texas?
Why not Texas?
Good answer.
It's the best college football program in the country. I get to, you know, train up under a great leader in Mack Brown, and I get to be a part of a great institution.
Is there, you know, you've been at Oklahoma State, been at LSU. Is this a place for a long time you thought, man, if I get that shot, I'm going?
Well, yes, I've recruited in different spots in Dallas and Houston and around the state, so I've always kept a close eye on Texas and looking from afar. There's a lot of good things going on, and now, you know, again, you talk about just Coach Brown, who's a tremendous leader. You talk about the Longhorn Network, which is phenomenal. And then you talk about the commitment to excellence here. To me, those things make for a great fit, and also it says that you're committed to being the very best as well.
Well, you've been here for like 2 minutes. We already like you. Nice little shout out there. We appreciate that. Now, you were a pretty good player at Memphis. Does that help you as a coach being able to relate to players when they know he's done this?
Well, I don't know if I was a pretty good player. What you realize in this business is the longer you coach, the more average you were as a player. Especially if you get to coach some good ones. So
I saw your numbers. You were pretty good.
So that's kind of where I am in my career. You know, I like coaching guys who are better than I was, but it does give me an opportunity to relate, and I understand the position in the game. And, you know, more importantly, it's about these young men, you know, transitioning from a young man to a man, and that's where, you know, I take a lot of pride in making sure that I have an impact in that area. But I can relate as a running back. I can.
Well, you were also able to be the head coach at your alma mater at Memphis, so you have been a head coach in the FBS. How does that help you as an assistant?
Well, tremendously, because I understand every aspect of, you know, what Coach Brown is going through, and you know, and wherever he needs me to kind of fill in the gap, I can. But even when he doesn't, I will, for the simple fact that, you know, I've always took pride in managing my group even before I became a head coach, like I was the head coach. You know, I wanted them to be accountable and responsible for every single thing that they had to do, and so I took great pride in making sure that they were.
Well, you had a stable of running backs at LSU. I mean, you go through the list: Joseph Adai, Jacob Hester, Charles Scott. There's 4 or 5 more, Trenton Holiday. You had a lot of guys who were able to get them the ball and keep them seemingly happy. Texas, they've got their fair share of running backs we just saw. What's your philosophy on having a stable of talented running backs?
Well, first and foremost, I think you got to teach them to love each other. And you got to understand what their personal goals are and what they want to achieve and accomplish, and then you have to be committed to that. And that's the first thing I will ask you once we sit down and really truly get to talking. What are your goals? What are your life goals? What are your career goals? What do you want to accomplish?
So outside of football, too?
Absolutely, because, again, we're responsible for that aspect of their lives, you know, both on and off the field. And so I want to know what their goals are. And, again, getting them to love each other. So how do you do that? You teach them to learn more about each other. You know, I want them to go to each other's home, understand each other, you know, background and where they come from, and embrace it. And I want them to do more, and I want us to do more as a group and push each other to be the absolute very best.
Only one football. How do you balance having that much talent?
Well, every day is an interview.
All right.
You know, and so you got to come to work every single day to be and do your absolute best. And they dictate who plays. I don't.
So when you take a look at the running backs that Texas has right now, I know you haven't been able to see a lot. You watched some film this morning. Break down Jonathan Gray. What do you like about Jonathan Gray?
Well, he's Jonathan is a natural guy in terms of just, you know, looking at him. He pretty good vision and has some good speed on him. You know, seems to have some suddenness about himself and some quickness that I like.
And he's also a young guy. He's going to be back for at least a couple more years. We take a look at what Jonathan's been able to do. We saw him running out of the Wildcat formation, pretty good receiver as well. So Jay Gray is one of the guys, led the team in rushing at 701 yards. Let's go to the next guy, Joe Bergeron, the bigger guy. How do you utilize a guy like that?
Well, again, we're going to play to his strengths. You know, just watching him on film for the time that I did, some questions I have for him that I would not release to you.
Okay.
But, you know, what I want to do, and my purpose for watching film as early as I am, is to try to get a great feel for what we need to do going into spring ball to come out, a stronger group. And I say a group, and again, we got to play to the strengths of each guy.
Yeah, well, I don't want to leave out Malcolm Brown. Malcolm's had some injury problems in his first 2 years, but when he's been on the field, he's been pretty productive. When you see Malcolm Brown, what do you think?
A big, strong, powerful guy who can certainly help us, in my opinion, in a number of different areas. The main thing that I want to do is identify their strengths and then identify their weaknesses as well and improve upon those. But more importantly, get all those guys to play with confidence, like they are the best core group of running backs in the country.
Well, you are also known as one of the best recruiters in college football. In fact, Rivals.com listed you as the recruiter of the decade. That's pretty nice. How do you excel at recruiting so much?
Well, again, I think it all starts with relationships, and then you got to have a tremendous work ethic, and you got to be sincere and honest. But again, it's not just about Larry Porter. It's when you get those type of what I would say compliments, it's a staff award because everybody plays a part in your success. And the way I look at it, when we win, and when we lose, we lose. And so I share that award with many other assistant coaches. Yeah,
Mac, we had Mac in yesterday, and he said that you're kind of known in the Houston and Dallas area. You feel pretty confident recruiting those areas?
I do. I've recruited both areas a number of years. Excited about getting back into them with Bevo on my chest. And taking pride in doing a tremendous job for the Longhorn Nation.
Well, we're about 4 weeks away from signing day. How much of an impact can you have on this year's recruiting class?
Well, again, as we sit back and try to evaluate what we are and what we need to finish this class and where I can help most, I think that question will be answered here within the next week. Once we can kind of meet as a staff. Right now, I'm just kind of finding my way through, but I certainly look forward to getting in and diving in head first and doing as much as I can. Well,
when you meet the staff, some of these guys I believe Stacy Searles, Bo Davis, you've been around some of these guys before. That must feel nice, just having a little familiarity.
Well, it makes for an easier transition when you're familiar with guys that you've worked with. You come in, you know their personalities. It's easy to get on the same page. They understand you, you understand them, and it's easy to get going a lot quicker.
So you said you're going to have the Bevo across the chest. I think Longhorn Nation likes that. Well, what makes recruiting for Texas different than recruiting for other schools?
Because it is the best college football program.
And you believe that? That's not lip service.
Absolutely. It's a privilege to play here. And guys need to understand that. And so when you are one of the chosen few, you need to embrace that. And I don't say that with arrogance. I say it because there is a tremendous commitment to excellence within this program. We have great and dynamic leadership.
Beautiful campus.
In administration, it's a beautiful campus. It's a great city. There's nothing to like about what we are and who we are.
All right. Well, you mentioned the city. I'm sure you've been to Austin before. How long have you been in Austin right now?
Probably about 30-some-odd hours.
Probably haven't gotten much sleep either. Right?
I have not.
What are your early impressions?
I am just blown away, to be honest with you. It's, when you walk in the office, everybody sports Texas paraphernalia. Yeah. To the tilt, I mean.
Pretty proud, right?
Yeah, they're pretty proud, and they should be. But it's the whatever it takes attitude. Right. That it seems to be floating around. And that's huge. And obviously that's come down from the leadership up top, and that's been very refreshing when everybody is willing to assist to grow this program in a way that we can achieve at a high level.
Well, Coach, it's been a pleasure having you in, and thanks so much for taking some time. Only 30 hours in Austin. I do have to warn you, you're going to be seeing a lot of us, though.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
I really am. And you'll be seeing a lot of me as well.
Sounds good, Coach.
You bet.